Well, you didn't do the introduction properly, so I had to mess it up for you.
Welcome to a very special episode of Red Hot Chaos, where I'm joined in a hot tub with my lovely wife, CJ,
Hello.
my lovely best friend, Mr. Justin,
I am lovely.
and me, your true host, Dr. Scribbles,
No.
Mr. Fabian. Today we will be
Wouldn't
discussing.
it be technically Mr. Miller?
Yeah. But no.
No, it'd be Mr. Christmas.
I'm not changing my last name.
That would be cool.
I know.
No, my dad's Mr. Christmas. It's horrifying.
Oh.
Today we will be discussing toys.
Why?
Squeeze cheese.
Just over the years, what we thought was like a cool product, or
I didn't get very many toys as a kid. We were told to go outside and play with sticks.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Or climb a tree and read a book. So, I mean,
I'm the same.
it's one or the other.
well, as a big kid now, I went to Toys R Us sometimes.
You know that's closed, right?
They're bringing it back.
It's
Are
closed.
they though?
Yes, they are. They went into bankruptcy, and now they're on a resurgence.
Oh.
But if I can't go to Toys R Us, I'm going to Babies R Us.
That's closed too.
No,
Is it though?
Babies R Us is never will die. They will never die.
Well, at least in Topeka it is.
Well, that's because Topeka sucks.
Also, Topeka has everything online now, and they're trying to fix it so that the local businesses are in the mall.
Yeah.
That is the hope. That is the pray.
That was a great conversation about toys, everybody.
That wasn't even about toys.
Next time.
We were talking about the economy. We need to talk about toys. Let's start with Nerf guns. That's the thing that I've known that existed for a really long time, I think. I don't know.
Honestly, I thought they were really stupid. My parents bought them for my brother, but I was not a fan of them. I thought they were really dumb.
I hated them. My brothers got them when they were little kids, my younger brothers. And they always lost the bullets, and they got upset because they didn't have the bullets. And I was like, you guys are the ones who are shooting them outside in the grass where you can't see the bullet because the bullet is black and green and it's gone now.
We would have the Nerf fights, but then, you know, you'd be like, okay, I'm out, and the other person would go, okay, I'm out, and then you'd have to switch sides and reload.
Right. And
I liked the bow and arrow ones,
Mhm.
but honestly, I like the TikToks where they put like little darts, like the little like thumbtacks on the end of the dart, and then they just shoot it into the wall. That seems like more fun.
Yeah.
Because then you're actually doing something productive with the Nerf gun rather than just shooting fakely over and over again. And now they like use it to promote video games and stuff. Like Minecraft has their Ender Dragon one coming out soon, and Fortnite has all their guns from the game. And I think there's a couple Call of Duty of them. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I don't go to the toy section of Walmart very often anymore.
I just found it to be a giant waste of money to have to play and then shoot and then have to reload. Like paintball, that's its own thing. But having to do
Paintball's more fun because you get to see the bruises and stuff afterwards.
right, Nerf bullets, they didn't go as far. They were just a hassle to have to reload every time, and I said
Also,
I'm not really into this.
The age restriction made no sense. Like, it was 8 and older, but by the time you turn 8, most country kids are already hunting with actual guns and bows, so, like, they're not gonna get the same joy out of Nerf
Well,
guns.
as a non-country person, that wasn't a problem.
America.
Yeah, but we just, I don't know, they were just really expensive, and since my brother was the only one who really wanted to play with them other than like with his friends, I was just like, I'm not gonna play with you, dude. I don't know.
They were like $40 a pop, and then they had like a $20 thing full of just ammo to reload when you lost your ammo. I'm like, why would you make the ammo losable?
I honestly feel the same way about Legos though, because I love Legos with a passion. I'm a huge fan of just Lego movies and Lego the product, but it's just so overpriced, and it's just a bunch of plastic. I'm not gonna go pay $80 for a Lego Star Wars set.
I would.
Well, I know it's nice to put together, and it's a great just hobby to get into.
I would only do it to keep it like my uncle does, because he makes airplanes for a living, and he gets like these airplane Lego kits from his work every Christmas, and he puts them together. They're like huge pieces, over like 4,000 pieces.
Ooh.
And so he sits there over Christmas break, and he puts it together. He glues it together so it doesn't come apart, and he puts it on the shelf because it's another year of work. I've done it, blah blah blah. I've made it through another year, that type of thing. But I mostly would do it just because it'd be something cool to like build together with people. Especially when you have like the instruction stuff. But like I liked it when we had like the miscellaneous buckets, because we had like 4 or 5 of those when I was a kid, and you just built whatever you wanted, and it was so much more fun.
Yep. Me and my brother, we had
I like
these
building little restaurants.
these little build battle things, and we'd make a bunch of vehicles, and we'd essentially just run them at each other and see which one would break first. I always won.
Why do I not believe that?
It's true. You can ask my brother. I always won because I just had this thing for design or whatever. That's why I really like the show Destroy, Build, Destroy on Cartoon Network. Wherever I can watch it, let me know, because I'd love to watch Destroy, Build, Destroy again.
Have a Lego show?
They have a lot of Lego shows. They have the Lego Ninjago show.
No, like a Lego building contest where they had these kids. I remember watching this with my dad specifically because he was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And like they build like whole cities out of just like small boxes of like miscellaneous Legos.
I think I remember this.
And they made like these huge whole cities, and then the cities are supposed to last through a earthquake where they shook the table or whatever. And if it lasted and still looked decent, they were like, "Oh my god, that is so cool!" Blah blah blah. But then like a lot of times like the Legos would have a theme to them, what you were building. So like they had like superhero in the midst of an alien battle, and you gotta make sure that the battle is stagnant in the scene. It's like super cool. I don't know. I don't remember what the show was called though. Now I'm sad. That's the end. I'm sad now. We can't talk anymore.
I was subscribed to the Lego magazine for a little bit. It was actually kind of cool to just see how Lego was progressing and all the news updates and everything that went on. And then eventually I looked at the video. There was a video on YouTube about just the history of Lego and how they had a building fire and how they made it past that, and they just became this huge empire.
Also, a lot of people confuse Legos with Duplos. You cannot give Legos to a 2-year-old child. Please don't. Your child will ingest the pieces
it's
and die.
Lego Duplo, honey.
No, like there's a Duplo, like the bigger Duplos.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to remember what it's called.
they're an affiliate of Lego though.
Yeah, I know, but like they don't make it in the same place anymore, and people give their kids the Lego part, not the Duplo part. And I've seen it happen several times. Kid will eat a Lego and it'll get trapped in their throat. Don't give anybody under the age of 6 Legos.
Well, there's a reason they put that on their packaging.
People are dumb and they still do it anyways. We gotta leave that warning, otherwise we'll never.
They just need giant yellow ribbons. Do not give to your child if they're under 6. Don't tell me what to do.
It's
Child
the same
dies.
thing with, like Tide Pods. You're not supposed to eat Tide Pods, but people still did it as a challenge because they're like, "Oh my god, they taste so good," and then they died. The end.
Well, that's why we don't give into peer pressure, everybody.
Don't taste the Tide Pod.
Did you know you can make an egg to be kind of like the little Tide Pod things though? It's really
Honey, shut up. Stop it.
Tide eggs.
No.
Coming to
Stop trying to give
you.
people bad ideas.
No, it's an actual like cooking technique though. They put the soft of the yolk after you make the white go all the way around the frying pan, and then you put the yolk in the center, and then you fold the white over as it cooks. So it's like a Tide Pod almost, but it's edible. So if you really want to eat Tide Pods, make it out of eggs.
I feel like that piece of audio can be chopped up.
But no, it is very interesting.
If you really want to eat Tide Pods and adds a completely different text.
Eat eggs.
Eat eggs, yes.
Eat soft yolk eggs instead. It'll satisfy your urge to eat a Tide Pod.
Oh, what were those
Yes.
like wooden blocks? That,
Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln
Love
Logs.
Those things. Those were
I
so much
loved
fun.
those.
I hated the fact though that like you'd only build certain things with them because it was all based on like, I guess science or whatever behind it that held it together. And I would try to rebuild it, but then we lost so many pieces. Like everything would just fall apart, and it made me so sad.
Yeah.
I remember we used to play with both our little green army soldiers and the Lincoln Logs at the same time. So we built like fortifications for them, and we would have little like wars with beanbags.
I had the red army soldiers.
Well, that's because you're special, honey.
We also had the little monkey, the little monkey things like
Oh, the monkeys in the can
That
or
hang on each
barrel.
other?
Monkeys in a barrel, yeah.
that hang off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I liked making those hang in like precarious positions and then pretending that like my Barbie dolls had to go save them. We didn't get Barbie dolls till I was like 10 though, so like that was a really weird experience. I also don't like Barbie dolls just because like Barbie always had to be super great at something, and it was like, can't she just be Barbie? Like make up what she is as you go. Like that was like a whole thing for me.
You guys got cool Legos and stuff. I got a drum, just the snare drum, and then they gave me a piano, and
Dude,
now
that
here I
sounds
am.
fun.
Yeah, but the imagination.
You make your own music, become a composer. You're Mozart. Bada bing, bada boom. Imagination.
I am Mozart.
Mozart.
Or today's modern interpretation of Mozart.
Bach.
I'm. Who?
Bach.
No.
Honey, those were. I was going to say
Beethoven.
my favorite composer of all time is
DJ
insert
Khaled.
DJ Khaled. No. I'm going to say insert name here for anybody who wants to sponsor us.
I'll sponsor you.
Oh yeah, you'll sponsor your own podcast.
Yeah, oh.
This guy's so good.
On the topic of like girls' toys and stuff though, like Barbie was like $20 a doll.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Why?
That's a big
They
oof.
call it the pink tag.
Okay, so dumb. And then there's American Girl dolls.
Oh god, I've heard the horror
I
stories.
hated those things. My mom got me one that had the same exact name as me when I was a kid, and I played with her for like 2 days, and I was like, okay, this is so stupid. Why? Because like, it was super realistic, I guess, but like at the same time, it's like, why do I need a doll that is like half my size, pretty much, when I could just dress up my sister? It's the same thing, except for my sister is more realistic and a very good actor.
This is true.
And then we just stopped playing with them, and then I gave all my American Girl dolls to my sister after a while because we all just stopped playing with them. My sister just collected them. Honestly, I wish I would have sold them though. They were like $100 a pop,
Oh, yeah.
and we had like, some of the archived ones. So those would have been like $800 a pop if I sold them. I'm just saying I should have sold them.
Did they get donated?
No, my little sister has them, and she's in foster care now, so I have no idea where they're at.
Did you guys ever have those Chia pets?
No.
No, but I had those like the little like car hamster things that like you press the button on the top and it like went forward. I don't know what that was, but like I always
Car hamsters?
yeah, like it was like a robot hamster. It was shaped like a hamster, but on the inside it's basically built like a. I didn't do it.
It's just filtering the water.
Okay, it was built like a the inside's basically like car mechanics to be like a remote control car, but without the remote. And there's a button on the back. You press the button, it squeaks and it moves forward. But our hair would get stuck in like the wheels and stuff, so
Why
it
would-
wouldn't
oh,
move
jeez.
forward anymore.
No.
Because all we had in the house was carpet besides on the stairs, and unless you want to break the robot hamster, you don't play on the stairs with robot hamsters.
We had Rock and Sock and Robots.
Lefty.
Oh, one of the. Well, we didn't play for it for very long, but they were fun. There was. Oh, the little transformer things.
The ones that turn into cars?
Yeah,
My brothers had those.
they were super cool, and I loved them so much. I guess I've just been a Transformers fan ever since, because the first Transformers movie, the Michael Bay ones at least, came out in 2008, and I was like, I'm an 8-year-old. This is amazing. This is top-notch content. I love it. Content.
Oh, since we're technically in the water, what about pool toys?
Pool toy.
The foam
Like-
noodles.
We would get the pool noodles, but we would like rip them in half and turn them into like little pool guns by going.
We went to the pool at the YMCA, but we did it for like swim classes. And yes, we went swimming every once in a while, but even then, we were just swimming as a family, and we had like a volleyball, I guess, which we used in the water. But in terms of like actual pool toys, I think we had a couple like those floaty rafty things.
When I lived in Wetmore, my parents had a pool. They still have the pool. It's just taken down. It's like it doesn't anymore 'cause it's a above ground pool and you know, put together.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They have all the pieces to it, but like all the pieces are rusting out in the backyard now. So like that's a whole thing. But basically every year Sunshine would buy multiple pool toys because every year the boys would jump on like the tubes and stuff and just pop them within like 30 minutes. I was like, why do you even get them if the boys are just gonna pop them? They're gonna make up their own game anyways. Just give them like the football that they play with in the yard and they'll play with that just fine in the water. And they're like, no, it's too hard for the pool balls. And I'm like, they can't even throw it that far. The only one who can throw it that far is me, and I'm not gonna do that.
Good idea, by the way, to record this podcast because it is Sunday, and we typically record on Sundays. So this
But
was
like,
so smart.
my only thought is like they upgraded pool toys so much because like you had like the little sinking rings, and they
The
always had like
sinking
the,
rings.
the ones that went to the bottom of the pool. That's what we call them.
Oh,
Dive
the
rings
okay,
or whatever
yeah.
they're called.
Okay.
Like they had the plastic ones with like the little foam piece on the inside, and we would always take the foam piece out because we wanted it to sink really fast.
Oh.
Because we would like throw it in, sink it, and then everybody would have a contest to go to the bottom and get all of them. And then, but then they upgraded that to like the little like jellyfish squid things because the sinking rings would get caught on people's legs when people would put them on their leg and stuff, and like.
What about the shark torpedoes?
Well, those things were fun. But
Tossed in the
also, why? My dog chewed up like half of the ones we had.
And that's why we did not have a dog. We have always had cats.
I
Cats are
wanna have
non-destructive. At least the ones we've had.
them.
Yeah, we've always had nice cats. They've always just been super cuddly or just ones that don't
I've
tear up
only had
everything.
cats once with my parents, and all the cats ran away or died in
Oh.
the field. The end.
Well,
Yeah, because the cat had babies, and then when the babies were born, we all were supposed to get a baby. The babies got fleas, and so I got in charge of washing them to get rid of the fleas. That was not fun. I don't suggest doing that. Not fun. And then we made them outside cats because they kept going outside anyway. So we were like, okay, you're outside cats. They'd come back for food. They ended up dying like the next year during harvest season or whatever because they went out to the cornfields to get mice, and the
Oh.
tractors like,
done got them.
yeah. It was really awkward when they were getting mice though because they'd bring it back and put it on like our sidewalk, and they'd just be dead mice sitting there. And we'd be like, oh, okay.
My dog got hit by the ice cream truck when I was small.
Doggo got run over by an ice cream truck.
Our dogs were inside dogs, but my parents never properly house trained them, so that was not fun either. And I'm not saying that like it was my responsibility. I didn't want a dog, so I was like, no, nobody's gonna take care of the dog. The dog is not gonna be house trained properly, and it's gonna follow me to clean up after the dog. And they're like, no, it's okay. We'll make sure to train it properly so that doesn't happen. No.
Water sound effects.
The tears are crying.
The gentle lapping of waves.
The tears I'd be crying.
We
But
didn't
then,
really
like-
need toys as a kid, because we always had stuff to do.
I always just went to the library, got a book, and climbed a tree and read.
See, we did
so.
that. We didn't do that climbing the tree part because we were sensible.
Well,
but-
no, I
Oh, I
just
climbed the tree.
if I sat on the ground while reading a book, my siblings would chase me around, and I was like, I don't want to be chased while reading a book. I'm good.
Fair enough.
So I would climb the tree because we had like these trees with super thick branches, and you could just sit up there against the tree, reading a book for hours, and nobody would find me, and I'd be like, okay.
Oh man, listeners can't see it, but you see that branch up there, like
Uh-huh.
you see the thick branches on the left.
Yeah.
The third one up. I got up that high that one time, and I looked down and I said,
I could probably go all the way to the top if I really wanted to.
I could not get down because it was the only branch. I just had shimmied up the trunk.
Oof.
Enjoy
But yeah,
that
see,
jump.
that's what I miss about just being on the coast. You always had the beach, or you could go. Even now, you can go to the park here, but for me, it doesn't feel the same because not a lot of my friends are like super active, and even for me, I
Or
have.
they have kids and they can't be super active because
Right.
they don't want to get up and get their kid dressed into a stroller to go to the park, and they don't want to watch their kid at the park because there's kidnappers, and that's a whole thing.
Right. So, but yep, it's definitely interesting just being an adult and looking back at everything. It's like, wow.
I wish being able to do like fun stuff, I guess you would say. Like after I hit high school, I was expected to basically act like an adult while still being treated like a child. So like all the fun stuff that people talk about they did in high school, I didn't really do any of that.
I Might as well been popped out in a suit.
Yeah, I wore a lot of suits in high school. Now that I think about it, just through all the events and everything I went to.
You ever seen Boss Baby?
Boss Baby, yes. Oh,
I was the boss.
didn't do any clubs or anything. I didn't like the participation requirements was just too much for having as many siblings as I had, and me
you
being
had
the
a
pers-
participation requirement.
Oh,
That sucks.
We just joined if we wanted to. We had people who didn't do anything in high school, didn't make any friends or whatever. Then we had people who were just super about everything. Granted, I did a lot, but most of it was either leadership or business related, and it was good. It was fun.
We just had class requirements. You meet your class requirements, they don't care what you did.
I did Boy Scouts, but I only did it for the trips. Mostly.
I
and
had
my
this one
friends.
friend, well, I say French, not really a friend, but this one person in high school I knew, she was still in Girl Scouts as a senior because they went to Worlds of Fun every year and she wanted to go to Worlds of Fun.
Oh, in 8th grade, I got the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C., and we had to raise the money for a ticket. And
Oh yeah.
it was awesome. So we went from the Boston area all the way to Washington, D.C. on a bus. And it was awesome. I enjoyed that whole trip. We got to see the Lincoln Memorial. We went to the Smithsonian, the Space
The
Museum.
only trips I've ever been on is with my family, so I've never really
Yeah, we need to get you out, hon.
been on trips. Well, that's a lie. There's this one trip when I went to Colorado. I was with a different family because they needed somebody to babysit their kids while they were doing like meetings and stuff for business. And so I'm over here babysitting their kids and stuff. And so I took their kids down to the pool for the hotel and stuff. But we were like a good 10, 20 miles from the mountains. And it was nice to see, but we were in like the dead center of the city. So we couldn't really go outside, otherwise you get kidnapped and stuff. But like, there was a pool room, I guess that was fun.
Let's see.
But I had like a headache almost the entire time because of the water pressure. So that kind of sucked. Or not water pressure, air pressure.
Let's see. Oh, every summer, just about every summer, we went up to Virginia. And there was a little place that my mom, when she was a kid, she grew up there. And so every year she brought us back to hang out with some parts of her family. And it was awesome because it was just a bunch of people you didn't normally get to see. They had their own little community type thing. And we stayed there for a couple days, week. And it was just nice to spend time with people who you don't normally see. And they would remember us. I'd be like, hey, you. I remember. They'd be like, hey, Fabian. I was like, yep. Uh-huh. Because for them, that was their life. Their life were these people that they spent all this time around. And I was there every summer, which was nice, but I didn't really remember anybody. But yeah, I just miss stuff like that. Just being able to just travel and just go spend just random amounts of time just elsewhere. Like, I know you come up here all the time, but I want to just be like, let's go to Texas. I don't want to go to Texas, but just.
Texas is hot. It's gross. I don't suggest it. My aunt lives down there.
But yeah, just to go on like a day's travel and be like, okay, where are we gonna go? Let's go eat somewhere different. Let's go to the coast. Let's go travel
Okay,
the
a
world.
day's travel is not the coast from here.
Yes, it is.
On
If you,
plane.
no, you can drive. It takes about 22 hours to get to Boston from here.
Okay, we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I could
And
not.
that's with a couple stops too.
Sitting in the
Four
car for
drivers.
that long. I get car sick. I'd have to sleep almost the entire way unless I was driving.
But-
Everybody drove 6 hours would be good.
Yeah, everybody drove 6 hours. It wouldn't be bad. And plus, you take your stops. You eat whatever foods or whatever. See, I just like being able to just try different things, like different foods and different drinks. I like drinking apple juice. I like drinking soda, but sometimes I'm just like, I want something I haven't had in a while, or I just want something different. So when we went to
I want
Hoo
a
Ha the other day, I was like,
margarita.
yes.
That sounds
You want a margarita?
Yeah, that sounds really good right now.
I'll make you one. No, man, I'm gonna go buy one.
I don't need alcohol. Alcohol consumption is a bad idea for me right now. Maybe a virgin margarita. That'd be okay. I'd be okay with that.
Anybody else want to go see the Paw Patrol movie?
No.
Do
Do you want to go see the Paw Patrol movie? I
No.
saw the first one. The first one sucked.
I am a man of culture, and Paw Patrol is the epitome of what good content is.
No, I'm surprised my mom didn't take my little brother because he's obsessed with Paw Patrol. And it's like, it's bad how obsessed he is. And it's funny because she didn't take him to the first movie, but they watched it at the house, and I was like, why don't you just take him to the movie theaters? You never take him anywhere. Like, he's at home all the time. Take him to the movie theaters. And she's like, well, I don't want to take him to the movie theaters because he won't behave the entire time. I'm like, he's 9.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to know how to fully behave yet. I mean, yes, he's supposed to know how to keep quiet and stuff, but he's also got autism, so, like, that's a whole thing. It's not his fault. But you still should take him out to public to teach him. Don't just leave him at the house all the time.
Right. But yeah, just going to see just a bunch of different experiences. I would love that.
Oh my God.
So, and I'm sure we'll get to it eventually, but I think I just want to start just stocking the house up with just not just like one kind of drink. Just feel like, yeah, I have all 900 of these different kind of things.
Once we get a house, I want to have like a drink bar specifically.
A drink bar?
In the kitchen, obviously. It'll still be in the kitchen, but
What do
like
you
a
mean?
section of the kitchen to like making drinks.
Like chocolate milk and what?
Yeah.
Chocolate milk, orange juice, some mixed drinks with alcohol.
Yeah, like apple juice with orange juice. Mixed drinks. Yep. It's
If
actually
you
really good.
Mix that in front of me, I will make sure your life is very short-lived.
I'm telling you, it's really
You
good.
don't
got
like orange
any
juice.
orange juice?
I do not have any orange juice at that, but we can go grab some.
I like Sunny D. I just don't like orange juice. Sunny D does not count. It is mostly chemicals from the factory.
Yeah, I was like, Sunny D is not real juice.
That's why I said I don't like orange juice. I like Sunny D.
I could chug a Sunny D.
I could chug
Sunny
it.
D is
I could chug a
delicious.
whole thing of orange juice. Be like, I feel good. You know what? I kind of want orange juice now. This is your fault.
Why didn't I
Okay.
bring it up? I brought up mixed alcohol drink.
I think that's the end of the podcast.
Woo! Time to go get some orange juice. No, yeah, we'll talk for a couple more minutes.
Oh, turning chores into games.
Turning chores into
That's a
games.
tough one for me.
So, whenever we were outside, I usually, after I hit the age of 12, I was mowing the yard. I hated it because we had to push mow the whole thing because we weren't old enough to drive the right mower. And my dad was like, the right mower is fancy. You're not allowed to drive it. So I was like, okay. But then once I turned 16, I was able to drive it. So that's the whole thing. Stop! And so, push mowing gave you blisters on your hands and everything.
Oh yeah.
So it was awful. But my siblings made it more fun by pretending they were zombies and I was chasing them with the mower. We didn't go super fast because I knew my siblings were slow and I didn't want to run over them.
You guys have a messed up.
But their goal was to get the sticks and rocks in front of me while I'm pushing behind them, going at a moderate speed so that they can get all the sticks and rocks out of the way before it hits the mower so we don't break the blade. So they turned it into a game of whoever got the most sticks and rocks got the most points, and if somebody gets lapped by the push mower from the side, they lose a point. And so they were basically zombies or whatever, and so they would be like, ooh, rock.
Ah, I got it.
Yes, that's what I think of when I think zombies.
Realistically,
Hunting them rocks.
zombies would be deteriorated after the first few days, so The Walking Dead doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Shh, we don't want to piss off people. Shh.
Oh, we'll talk about that in the next episode then.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next episode. We thank you for listening to Hot Tub Timer. Sorry, that's copyrighted. Welcome to.
No, that's Hot Tub Time Machine.
Shh.
No, it's copy.
I haven't seen that in like forever. That's a good movie.
Shh, we don't want to summon Craig Robinson.
Oh, yes.
I heard wrestling in the bushes.
Shia LaBeouf. But we thank you for listening to Red Hot Chaos for today in our special episode of Hot Tub Time.
What spell?
Stay tuned for next episode where we talk about insert topic here.
Zombies and the realistic of zombie movies.
I can't wait to get canceled. Woo hoo!
We're not gonna get canceled. We're just stating our own opinion. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. It's called freedom of speech, sir.
Maybe.
Well, see, there's the thing. Not everybody's allowed because not everybody lives in America.
This is true.
But yes, we thank you for listening to the
Yes,
episode.
but we live in America, so we have freedom of speech.
Shush!
Sorry. ADHD.
I'm running
It's
away
nice
from this.
talking to y'all. Have a good day, and don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. If you end up in jail, assert dominance. Have a lovely day.
Oh my. Goodbye, everyone.
Well said.